You know, that's crazy because that's salt
What's
water.
up, Gladiator Gang? You are back on the other side with me, Mike G. Today's guest really needs no introduction. He terrorized the lightweight division with explosive speed and power that was truly unmatched. One of the scariest fighters in history. Ladies and gentlemen, the young assassin, Melvin Guillard. How's it going, Melvin?
I'm doing good, man. Just on a little night stroll,
A little evening
taking a walk.
stroll?
Yeah, man. You know, it's getting darker earlier now, so it's all good.
Likes long, dark walks on the beach, romantic movies.
Right? Like Baywatch.
There we go. Man, I'm going to ask the boring question first. Tell me about growing up. What was life like for you? Little kid.
um, it was fun. I mean, I spent all my time fishing, hunting. Um, I had a tree house in a big redwood in the backyard. It was about 50 yards in the air. And
Nice.
then about 40, 50 yards over into the woods, I had a two-story clubhouse. So I used to zip line from the treehouse to the clubhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I was an outside kid, I mean, I had video games and stuff like that, but they were in my treehouse or clubhouse. So
Hmm.
yeah. So I mean, it was a good way to sneak out at night too, with my
Right.
friends.
I was
So
just about to say, did people congregate?
yeah, of course, man. But my childhood was pretty awesome. I had my dad. Um, he passed in '06, but he was my best friend. We did everything. He taught me how to fish, hunt, trap, um, shit, pretty much everything, man. Taught me
Hmm.
how to be a man, really. But but yes, I mean, pretty cool childhood. But I mean, I started training and fighting at a young age, so my childhood was, I wouldn't say cut short. I just kind of got to jump on my childhood dream. That's all.
Right. My next question was going to be, do you remember the first time you were punched in the face?
Um, Not really, because I've never really been punched in the face like that. So I mean, I don't know. Um, Probably from my mom.
You must have had it coming then.
Man, I always had it coming with my mom, man. But she's the reason I'm as tough as I am today, though. So I gotta give her props for that one.
Yeah, same boat here, man. um, Take me back to 13 years old, Melvin. Who are your heroes at the time?
Um, Kevin Randleman, Vito
Yeah,
Belfort, my pops, um, mm, 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 Bruce Lee, and my grandfather.
there we go. I I hope this is an okay question to ask. You know, we deal with emotional stuff on this show. Tough questions, tough answers. Um,
Right.
I know you lost your father young. If you had to close your eyes and remember one thing he said, or one bit of something that sticks out, what more than anything, what would that be?
It's practically been my whole life. He told me right before he died, just you know, live it up, live your life, be respectful, be the man I raised you to be, and do it your way. Always do it your way. Don't compromise yourself for anybody. And I pretty much been doing that whole time, my whole career actually. I mean, you guys got a gist of it with the suspensions and, you know, just I don't know. I was like fighter slash rock star at one time and just enjoying life. You know what I mean? I've been over 50 countries. I've been everywhere. Still counting too. You know what I mean? Just because I'm retired don't mean life got to stop.
That's right. Alrighty.
But
What was that?
but he just always wanted us, me and my brothers really, but just always wanted us to be young men and be respectful. You know what I mean? So I'm big on respect. You know what I mean? Respect comes in a
Hmm.
lot of shapes and forms, but
Hmm.
it's easy to misinterpret. Respect sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, when did you first say to yourself, "I can be a professional fighter," and what brought that belief about?
Third grade, Miss Brown's home career
Oh
day
yeah.
at GT Woods Elementary School, and I brought the Young Guns UFC VHS from Blockbuster to school. And I told her I wanted to be a UFC fighter. And this lady looked at me. She looked at the tape. She scanned over it. Of course, they didn't put it on, but she scanned over it, looked
Mhm.
at the back of it. saw that it had violence in it, and she told me that this is not a real job. Pick something else. And I was stubborn enough not to, and I sat there and I actually got a D for participation that day.
Oh
Well,
no.
I fast forward to 22 years old. I had just graduated high school and I was 19 actually, because she actually failed me that year. I was a year behind. So I graduated at 19. The age of 22, I went back to my elementary school where she still was teaching in my neighborhood. And I told her that what she thought was not a real job is actually my real job. And I make more than six figures a year for it not to be a real job. I said, shame on you. You know what I mean? So it was bittersweet. I got to do the same to my high school principal as well.
Nice.
I think for me, that was always my drive. When people tell me I can't do something,
Hmm.
can't, sorry, no are the three main things I hate being told. I hate being
Yeah.
told no. I hate when somebody say they're sorry and telling me I can't do something. Like anybody, you can do anything you put your mind to. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I'm a walking proof of that. You know what I mean? Like a lot of kids have dreams, and because they don't have the right people around them, uh, people that just don't care for them, they'll always tell them, you're not going to be shit. You ain't shit.
Hmm.
Um, that's a waste of time. Like try something else. And a lot of times it's the people that say that are the people that's miserable and unhappy, that's
Hmm.
never experienced life, and like I said, man, I've been to over 50 countries, man. I've enjoyed different cultures. I've been everywhere. And fighting has been the gateway for me to go and do what I want. Come and go as I please. Um, like right now, I'm 42, no kids, no big obligations to anything. You know what I mean? I can pretty much do what I want when I want. You know what I mean? So the world is my playground. That's how I look at it.
That's
So,
awesome.
fighting, which is a job that a lot of people frowned upon, well, it gave me the keys to the world pretty much.
Hmm.
I mean, if it wasn't UFC, I probably would have went to the Marine Corps with my best friend Delshawn, who's
Okay.
he's retiring this year. He actually went in '01. I was supposed to go behind him in '02, but I went to college and wrestled, and then I went straight to the UFC. So kind of, took a little detour, but I never went back to the tour. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. This next question, I really had to kind of count on the internet for dates and names. So if this is incorrect, please let me know. But I believe your professional debut, Battle of New Orleans, won in 2002. Is that right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Nice. I had three different choices to pick from online as far as your debut. I'm glad I picked the right one.
Yeah,
Um,
that's my pro debut. But before that,
mhm.
I had
Oh yeah.
already had 40. I had already had 46 amateur fights, which I won all of them.
And
Um,
before
I
that,
was
how many?
nah, well, neighborhood don't count. Um,
Right.
I was 20. I was 22-0 when I lost my 23rd pro fight at the Bourvage Casino and FFC. So Carlo Prater. I never forget
Hmm.
that. My life,
I
my
remember
whole
that
world,
name.
whole world came crumbling down.
Um, that debut against Calvin Martin, what was going through your head as you were walking out?
I mean, that's my cousin. I mean, he's my first cousin. I mean, he's my
Oh,
blood
okay. I had
cousin.
no idea.
Yeah, yeah. The way. I mean, we were training partners and stuff like that, and I don't know. Joey needed some guys to fight, and we stepped up. I mean, it started out as just kind of like an exhibition, but he's my older cousin. See, like he's younger than my older brothers, but older than me. We all sleepovers our whole lives. And he always thought he was the better martial artist for some reason. Because I didn't start with traditional taekwondo or karate, which I'm so happy I didn't. Um, I started out wrestling, and then
Hmm.
that led to boxing and kickboxing. So it was kind of like bragging rights to see who's the badass cousin. You know what I mean? Of course, I
Hmm.
beat him up. Um, Probably bullied my own cousin into being a cop today. You know what I mean? Normally people got to go to school and get bullied and become a cop. Well,
Right.
I think I put a beat down on him enough to where He became a St. John Parish cop.
That's hilarious.
I still love him though, but I think he still hold a lot of animosity because I've been home a year now, and I have been trying to reach out to him to start a gym here at home. He trains a lot of people. He actually got his black belt in jiu-jitsu, but I still tell him today he'll never tap me. He will never tap me. I don't give a fuck who he paid to give him his black belt. He will never tap me. That will never happen.
I love it. Fast forward to 2005. You're, I believe, 19-4. Just fought Roger Huerta. How did you end up getting the call to be on the Ultimate Fighter 2?
That's real funny. I was in the gym training to defend my one of my world kickboxing titles, and
Mm-hmm.
my manager at the time joined Kona, which I would beat his ass too. But let me stay on track because I got a hit list in my head. You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
But now the phone rang. He brings the phone to me. I'm on the bag doing bag drills, and they they're like, hey, well, this is a UFC and blah blah blah. And I literally hung up the phone. I thought it was a prank call. Um, so they called right back. I hung up again. Well, the third time it was Dana White, and I recognized his voice immediately. I was like, "Oh shit, Dana!" He's like, "Yeah, kid, why you keep hanging up on us?" I'm like, "Man, I thought it was a prank call." Well, this was like a Tuesday, and he asked me how soon can I come out to Vegas to audition for the Ultimate Fighter. I said, "Shit, how soon you want me?" He's like, "I'll have you a flight for Thursday. Can you be here?" I said, "I'm there." Well, I get there. They got us in the Palace Station Hotel, and I'm talking about lock and key. Like I'm young. I don't even have a fucking ATM card. I don't have nothing. Everything back then for me was cash. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they got us trapped in these rooms, and we're not supposed to leave the rooms until somebody come and get us. So I can't order movies. I can't do nothing. I can't even order like food because I have nothing but cash. Well, I sit there, then they come and get me to go to the interview, to the meeting. We go to the meeting. You got the UFC and Dana on the right. You got Spike TV and the cast and crew on the left. And there's this one guy sitting all the way in the back. He looked like a Albert Einstein type looking guy, but he had his leg crossed over. You could tell he was like the smartest guy in the room, probably. Well, um, first thing out Dana mouth is, so why do you want to be a UFC fighter? And I looked at him. I was like, why do I want to be a UFC fighter? I said, you motherfuckers call me. I said, you forgot I hung up the phone 3 times. I was like, I literally hung up on y'all thinking it was a prank. What the fuck do you mean? What do you mean? Why do I want to be a UFC fighter? Why the fuck do y'all want me to be a UFC fighter? And the guy that I was talking about, he stood up and was like, yes, we want this fucking guy. He like, because reality shows they needed personality, not just
Mm-hmm.
fighters.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't even have to fill out an application. I didn't have to do tryouts. I just went to that meeting, sat down for like maybe 10 minutes. Literally, like after I did that, they didn't even ask me anything after. They just kind of just left it out in the open. Well, the downside to that was they fucking stuck me back in that room, and now I'm in there for days, like days. I'm like counting the
Oh.
days. But look, it was like being in jail, but not jail. So
Mm.
my clever ass, I find a way to sneak down the back stairs because they actually had motherfuckers. They had motherfuckers on every floor sitting at the elevator, which is fucking nonsense. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm a young fighter. I got nothing but stamina and energy. I can run the stairs. So I went downstairs, fucking got some food, ordered some girls to the room, and literally stayed in the room for like 2 days. And then, like I said, I had cash, no card. Well,
Mm-hmm.
when they came to get me for the medicals, I answered the door, literally butt ass naked, and it was like, "Dude, you gotta go get your medicals done." I'm like, "Well, you gotta give me a minute." It was like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm kind of busy right now." And when the four girls walked up, they was like, "Oh shit, we didn't know you had company." I was like, "Y'all wouldn't know shit because nobody's brought me food, nobody's ordered me a movie." I'm
You've
like, I
been a
had to entertain
prisoner.
myself. Hell yeah. So I don't know, but when I opened my door, the first person I see was George Gazelle. Me and George knew each other already. And George kind of was walking by and he backed up and he looked and he's like, "Oh shit, okay, Mel." I was like, yeah, bro, somebody that is entertain me. So that's kind of like how it all started for me, pretty much.
In the end, was the show a blessing or a curse?
A little bit of both. Um,
Okay.
I originally wanted to do the show at 155, but at the time they didn't have 55ers.
Hmm.
They had got rid of the weight class, so I did it at 170, and 70 wasn't bad. I just wish I don't know. I wish I could have done it again. I asked Dana one time, could I do the show again at 55? And he was like, for what, kid? You're already a superstar now. And it made sense. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I just wanted that title. You know what I mean? And I know for a fact I would have beat everybody on that show. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I mean, I was only on the show for 2 weeks. And I was the most popular guy of season two, literally in 2 weeks time. You know what I mean? I
Hmm.
spent the other 8 weeks partying at freaking Green Valley Ranch with Josh Bergman, uh, Chuck Liddell, and Jason Giambi, the baseball player. I mean, literally,
Wow.
like for 5 days straight, bro. Like I was so happy to go home.
I believe it. I've heard some stories about Chuck back in the day.
Man, look,
All good.
it was the wildest party, funnest party I ever attended. And I'm 42 and I've had my own wild, crazy parties, and I still have yet to fucking duplicate that first time. Like I have never been able to hit that first time. That first time was like it's uh, it's like a virginity. Once it's taken, it's gone.
That's it.
Right.
I ask everyone I talk to who's been on The Ultimate Fighter, the show, they show the fans a lot of the crazy stuff that happens, but I have a feeling there's probably stuff that happens that they don't show. Is there any behind the scenes dirt that you can bring up from that season that's never been talked about before, uh, that maybe people will enjoy?
Um, I think the part when I was really like adamant about missing home and my girl at the time, and I was like, man, I need my cell phone because they took out cell phones,
Hmm.
and I think behind the scenes they had like a blooper of me like really complaining about somebody giving me a phone to call out, and all the guys in the room were like, "Bro, please just go to sleep." And I was like, "Fuck all of y'all." It's like I'm not tired, and I need to talk to somebody. So if I can't use the phone, I'm gonna talk to all of you motherfuckers all night. And I was up for a while just talking, and I think I pissed everybody off that night.
That's great. uh,
Yeah.
in the season finale, you took on Marcus Davis, who's an awesome dude. He was on the show about 6 weeks ago. What were your thoughts on Marcus as an opponent at the time? And how did that first official UFC victory feel?
Um, I mean, I knew I would beat him. He was one dimensional, just a Irish boxer. Um, I had way too many skills. I mean, wrestler, judo, um, kickboxing, boxing. I mean, I kind of hit the road running with my career. Like I said, I never did traditional martial arts,
Hmm.
but once I started boxing, kickboxing, judo, I was already a wrestler. So I don't know. It just kind of came about. But one dimensional fighters never do well against me ever. And
Gotcha.
I knew Marcus was one dimensional. I knew he was a heavy hitter, but very flat footed. So honestly, to me, it was probably one of the easiest wins in my UFC career.
Okay.
And I knew it was my ticket in because like Dana said, just because you're on the show doesn't mean you're a UFC fighter.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, my coach, Warren Donnelly at the time, my high school wrestling coach who started me out, he told me, you're here, now you have to fight harder to stay here. It's not about getting there, it's about staying there. And successfully out of season two, I was I'm gonna say second to last man standing. The last man standing was actually Rashad. And
Hmm.
when I left in 2017, Rashad retired, I think, a year later. So we were the last two standing, pretty much.
Okay. All right.
The first eliminated, but the second to last. I mean, I almost made it to the very last,
Hmm.
but Joe Silver, little queer eyed gay ass, decided to release me because I gave him a boring fight because I didn't want to fight Michael Johnson. I didn't want to fight a teammate when I was supposed to rematch Ross Pearson, and Ross Pearson faked the injury. And then when I got scheduled to go back to London, this fuck ass, like 2 months later, fights Diego Sanchez in fucking Albuquerque. I mean, I thought you had a torn ACL, buddy. So yeah, that was how I got released. It was, I think it was a little biased and a little bit prejudiced, but I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was going to ask. You alternated wins and losses there, and then left the promotion. I wanted to know if you leaving was your choice or theirs. A little bit of
It was
both,
Dana.
maybe.
A little bit of both, but I mean, Dana didn't want to release me, but he said, I said, well, how the fuck does Joe Silver get to make that call? He was like, well, he's part owner. I guess, they brought stocks or whatever. Because you remember, that was right when they got the deal with Reebok.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I was a fighter. I didn't care about the business side of things at the time. Didn't make sense, but I felt like I was being released prejudice, you know what I mean? And
Right.
it was what it was. And to be honest, the UFC was my childhood dream as a 10-year-old, not
Hmm.
just fighting MMA. You know what I mean? Like being a UFC fighter was actually my dream.
Yeah.
Um, so kind of when they released me, it just kind of, I guess you could say as a kid, the kid in me, it just kind of crushed my dream. And after that, I stopped caring. I didn't want to cut weight anymore because I felt like there's no promotion worth me cutting a lot of weight for
Right.
because they're not gonna match my UFC money,
Hmm.
including Bellator, including World Series. I just knew these promotions wasn't going to be forking over that kind of money. Um, so yeah, I mean, when I got released, it kind of like my dream got crushed, and I mean, at that point, I'm a fighter. It's what I am. It's who I am. I didn't want to do anything else. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
punching a clock. Are you serious? I mean, I actually do that now, and it's actually
Right.
pretty cool. But at that point, at that time, hell no, fuck no. I mean, literally, when I got released, I mean, at that time, I'm married. I got 3 wives. You know, I got shit's happening. You know what I mean? I can't go punch a clock. You know what I mean? So yeah, at that point, I mean, I felt like I was just taking fights to make money. And when you start taking fights to just make money, then you really shouldn't be fighting because
Hmm.
I was just setting myself up for failure. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. Mentally, trying to get back to the UFC, mentally, how was that for you? Was it, immediately, okay, I'm going to do what it takes, or did you have to take some time off and kind of evaluate things?
Man, I didn't have time to evaluate shit. You know what I mean? Like, as you're getting older, you know what I mean, shit. I cried like a baby when I turned 30. I no bullshit. Uh, I mean, I had no time to think of. I mean, everything about what I ever done in my life was reaction. You react to things. You
Hmm.
don't have time to think it out. Um, I didn't grow up like one of those kids in the think tank. You know what I mean? I was an
Right.
active person, so um, I just kind of went with the flow. I hit the ground running as I always did, and figured it out as I went. You know what I mean? Because I
Hmm.
mean, at the time, I have 5 bedroom house in Miami. Um, I have it's like I have things I have to pay for. A regular job's not gonna pay for those things. So yeah, I mean, first promotion that would take me, I had to get signed up. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And then it felt different. It didn't feel the same. In the UFC, it was like my first love. You know what I mean? I loved it. Like I was intimately in love with it. Like I would die for it. And when I
Hmm.
went to Bellator, World Series, all these other places that I stopped along the way, there was no there was no love making in it. It was just like sex. It was like sex with no meaning. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's kind of how I felt. You know what I mean? Like I can after it's over, I'm good. I'm about to go. That kind of
Right.
shit.
Gotcha.
Um, and for me, that's not what fighting is. You know what I mean? Like I love it. I love what I do. I
Hmm.
love the opportunities that it's giving me. Um, right now, I'm being blessed with the settlement to where I'll be able to start charities and look out for people the same way I was looked out for.
Hell yeah, man. Oh yeah. When you returned in 2008, you knocked out Dennis Seaver in 36 seconds, I believe it was, earning KO of the night. Did your second run feel any different?
Um, I wouldn't say it felt different. I mean, it all felt the same to me when I was in the UFC. When I was in that cage, um, I was just a different person. You know what I mean? I was able to express myself. I have a very big personality, and I love to express myself. And
Hmm.
the UFC, the UFC gave me that opportunity, you know what I mean, on a platform to where I can let the world see me be the person that I admire, and that I love, you know what I mean? Because as a
Hmm.
kid growing up, I didn't always feel that way about myself. I got teased. I wouldn't say I got bullied because I was beating the bullies up, but um, I don't know. I guess what you could say when it came to like the ladies, like the girls, um, I don't know, got teased by a lot of them, and I don't know. I mean, I played football, I wrestled, so and I was a black kid from the hood, so to them it was weird you know, um,
Hmm.
was also a blood growing up. I was in the gang. So it's like they really thought it was weird until I started always saving their asses and, doing all the fighting. Yeah, everybody thought it was weird until they started really seeing me be the apex predator everywhere I go. So
Right.
it all panned out in the end, you know what I mean? So I mean, look at me now, shit. I'm actually licensed as a lethal weapon, not just a weapon anymore. I actually leveled up on this shit. Um, it sounds cool, it is cool, but it's not cool.
Right. Yeah, I get you. Um, Between 2008 and 2011, you're on a mission, it seems like, in the cage. You fought Evan Dunham and TKO'd him with knees. What was going on in your mind during that finish, and how special was it to get to fight for the troops?
Well, my best friend, who's now gone, he's Brandon Brewer, who I dedicated my retirement fight to. He was my best friend, my brother. We did everything together. We came up in this business, but he was Army Special Forces. He deployed a lot, so we missed each other, at times. And fighting for the troops was really a big honor for him. He was everything American. He lived and he died for this country. You know what I mean? Literally. Um, so for me, fighting in front of troops, I have an uncle that's a 4-star general, Army. I have a lot of cousins and a few uncles that are military, Army, some Marine Corps. My best friend Delshon, he's actually getting ready to retire this year as a master sergeant. Um, so for me, it was a big honor. I mean, that to me was one of my favorite fights because being in that hangar with all those screaming vets and military guys and girls, it was unreal. I mean, it was that crowd was like way smaller than what arena would
Hmm.
be, and it was probably louder.
Wow. I
But
wish the
for
UFC still
people,
did those shows.
yeah, I know for people to fight for our country, I've lost a lot of friends in Iraqi wars and just war period, and it was all senseless. In the end, it was all for nothing. But anytime I can honor that and honor the people that love me anyway, then that's always an amazing thing.
Hmm. Absolutely. You fought Jeremy Stevens at UFC 119, winning by split decision. How confident were you going into that decision that you'd won that fight?
So I was very confident. I mean, I outworked him. Little Heathen, man, he was a force to be reckoned with. He was
Hmm.
probably one of my tougher fights. Um, we both was trying to knock each other out the whole time.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, neither one of us got the KO. I mean, honestly, I would have for to go to the decision. I would have rather got knocked out than to win that fight the way I did because one of us was supposed to knock the other out.
Yeah, I remember. I remember you calling him out after a win.
Yeah, man. I mean, we always been good friends. Um, But I mean, it's the business. I mean, I fought a
Hmm.
total of 9 friends, literally legitimate friends in this business.
Hmm.
Cowboy, Nate Diaz, shit, a bunch. It's a bunch. I fought a lot of good friends, man, and I mean, it's business. You know what I mean? Shit. I mean, we all knew what we were getting ourselves into. Me and Cowboy were actually teammates when we fought. We just
Hmm.
split the team. It was crazy. Um, but when you get the call to try to get closer to that title, you're gonna take it. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I never got a shot in the UFC, which was so fucked up. I was on a 7 fight win streak and I still didn't get a title shot. So if you telling me there was never politics in that shit, I mean, I'm a walking testimony to that.
Yeah, I agree. You should have got a title shot, definitely. Um, one loss during that stretch that I wanted to talk about was Nate Diaz submitting you at the fight that you both headlined. What exactly makes Nate so dangerous?
He's like a fucking rubber band, you put it around your neck and it just keep getting tighter. Um, no, but we were in the ring. We were in the middle of the ring talking shit to each other because, like I said, we were friends. He was
Hmm.
like, you can't beat me, so and so. And I was like, dude, I can beat you anywhere. He's like, well, then fuck, here's the takedown. He kept throwing his hands up, like, take me down. The
Hmm.
game plan was strictly do not take him down. That was my coach's number, like curse of a
The
rule.
game
I mean,
plan.
like, yeah, that was the rule of all rules. Don't take him down. Just stay on your feet. Obviously, everybody saw me outbox him and beat the shit out of him in the first round. Well, second round, we go to talking shit to each other. And I guess you could say the male ego kicked in. And,
Hmm.
I just was like, man, I can beat you anywhere, bro. And I swear on everything, when I took him down, before my hands and knees touched the mat, he was already choking me with that door choke. That's how tight it was. It was unreal how tight that shit got so fast. And my coaches was so pissed,
I'm
but
sure.
we made up for it. Going to the after party. We were actually on the elevator with Ariani and Brittany Palmer, and some drunk guys jumped on, and they left the rest of their group. And we was going up the elevator to the party, and these guys were in the elevator just talking crazy and like trying to fill up on the girls. And I got 5 stitches in my head, so I'm bandaged up. Diaz
Hmm.
got 32 stitches, so he's bandaged up. He still got the wrap on his head. And these guys are like, and then I'm looking at these guys like, bro, do you guys not watch TV? Like, are you guys fucking stupid? And like, bro, what the fuck? Why you cock blocking us? But I'm like, you're not cock blocking. I say, bro, you never had a I like you never had a chance anyway, bro. So leave it alone. Well, I slid towards the door. Me and Nate just kind of looked at each other, just kind of gave a head nod, and by the time the elevator popped up and we were kicking these dudes' asses, well, the other rest of their group came up the stairs. It was like maybe 5 more guys and maybe 4 girls. Well, I knew they were gonna cut that corner, so I stood literally by the wall. And when they came around the corner and they went to rushing at Nate, I just started grabbing them and throwing them down the stairs. Even the girls, I threw the girls down the stairs too.
Oh my god.
So that was we didn't even go into the party. We actually turned around and left and just did something. We went to a strip club because we was like, bro, we got to get up out of here. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
was
that's
like
a
New
good time
Orleans.
to leave.
It was like New Orleans and Stockton, California meets. You know what I'm saying? And like some shit
Oh
just
my
popped up.
goodness. Yeah, get out of
So
there.
yeah, man. I mean, so it was cool, man. And look, I enjoyed it. Like I tell people, man. I think I enjoyed a lot of my losses more than my wins because I started learning a lot more about myself
Yeah.
from a loss, not just in the ring, but just in life in general. And
Hmm.
between boxing, kickboxing, MMA, and bare knuckle, I literally, legitimately I have over 200 fights.
Hmm. Yeah.
I lost
Not many people
what
can say that.
189, 29, 2-2. You know what I mean? I've lost 29, and I think the percentage of wins is still out. It's still greater than the losses. But
Hmm.
it's funny how internet and it's all they care about is a loss, watching me lose, and all I can think to myself is, I wonder how much money these assholes ever lost on me. Well, in my last fight 2 weeks ago, I was a 500 to 1 underdog, bro. And I knocked this guy out in 24 seconds. So you can imagine how many people lost their fucking houses.
Oh, that I don't want to imagine.
Yeah, it's called karma.
Wow.
It's called
Yeah.
karma. And I swear, I told myself if I ever have a daughter, my first daughter will be named Karma. Um, Karma, she comes for us all, man. We all get a taste of it. No matter how we cut it or dry it, you can think you walk this world perfectly and not screw nobody over, but
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's done something to somebody, maybe not knowingly or knowingly. But for me, I mean, you got to be a stupid motherfucker to bet against me.
I never would ever. Um, you mentioned Donald Cerrone. I think any hardcore fan going back to Jackson Winklejohn days knows, what a close friendship you guys had, and leading up to you guys fight, that was talked about in the press how you were close, almost nonstop, and
We were brothers, man. We born the same year. We
yeah,
born the same exact year, a day apart, literally.
wow. And in the finish of that fight, you can I think Joe Rogan mentions it in the commentary. You can see on Donald's face that he is not happy in to have to finish the fight. After the fight was over, when you guys get to the back and things calmed down and you had a chance to talk to each other, what did you guys say?
Um, we came, we did what we set out to do. I mean, he was in the
Got
same
paid.
boat I was in. I had literally just fought 2 weeks before that. I was on a
Hmm.
golf course at my home in Miami when Dana called, and he was like, "Kid, I gotta fight for you, but it's a big ask." And he's like, because I always jump to anytime he called, I took it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it." He's like, "Well, you might want to think about this one." I was like, "Why? What are you talking about?" He's like, "I think you should give Cowboy a call." So really? So all right. So I called Cowboy. He was waiting on my call, and we were teammates. We were sparring partners. We trained every day together. And he's like, "Look, man, 6 guys that pulled out on me. I'm from Denver. I want to fight at home." He's like, "I need you." I was like, "Fuck, let's do it." I mean, shit, let's go get paid. I mean, literally, I had just fought 2 weeks before that, and got a bonus, so it all made sense.
Hmm.
More money for me. Um, and yeah, I mean, after the fight was over, man, we just hugged. Um, shit, it was like shit. We just got paid, and the only problem with that was his manager at the time. The dude was a piece of shit. Like, obviously, I just cut 20 pounds 2 weeks prior to that. So
Hmm.
I came in a little bit heavy. Dana knew about it. Cowboy knew about it. But for some reason, his fucking manager just kept pressing it. I'm like, bro, what is it? Money you want? So I took some money and I fucking threw it at him like a fucking stripper. I'm like, here's your money. Like, calm the fuck down. Like, I'm not cutting no more weight. Like, literally, my body was dry, and then there was no way I was going to cut a whole 20 pounds again 2 weeks later. You know what I mean? Your
Right.
body don't work like I wrestled my whole life. Well, anyways, I guess it was about the dollar. So I threw like 2, 3 grand at the dude. I just threw it in his fucking face. I'm like, here's the money. And I told Cowboy right there in front of him, I said, now you don't have to worry about paying this asshole. I'll pay him too. You know? So I mean, it is what it is. Man. He's my brother, man. Like, and we still brothers all till this day, you know what I mean? And that's the one thing I could take from this career is that I've gained a lot of
Hmm.
brotherhood. It's like a fraternity. Um, I got to meet some amazing people. I got to meet a lot of people that I looked up to as a kid in the fight game, and
Hmm.
couldn't even believe that I was in the same room with them. So for me, I'm still like a big ass kid, and I still watch cartoons. Um, I still get starstruck when I meet certain fighters. I don't even get starstruck when I meet Hollywood celebrities, and I meet a lot of them assholes. But like fighters, when I meet fighters that I look up to, that I
Hmm.
admire, that I wanted to be like, it's pretty fucking awesome. That I can still feel like a kid, and
Hmm.
some of them have to remind me like, "Well, you're one of us, man. You like." I mean, I forget I'm famous a lot of times. I just feel like a normal guy. I mean, I'm a normal guy from Kenner, Louisiana, here in New Orleans,
Hmm.
and I just I found something that I was great at, and I chased it. And when I say I'm great at it, I'm fucking great at it, because there's not a fighter in this world other than Mayweather that has not tasted defeat, but has also been great throughout their career. So,
Hmm.
I take my hat off, and I admire anybody that can do what we do day in and day out,
Right.
because most people don't see the behind the scenes or the training camps. They only see the fight, which you already prepared for that, but they don't realize you sacrificed 8 to 10 weeks of your life doing nothing but eat, sleeping, and training.
Hmm.
Um, and imagine that for me, what I mean? I have over 200 fights. So it's like I'm now just being able to like really just relax and enjoy my fucking life.
Yeah. Be a normal
Like I
person.
literally, I can literally tell you right now, God honest truth, I have a stress-free life. I don't stress about shit. Like, I don't care. If it don't affect Melvin's life, I really don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me. It
That's
doesn't bother
awesome,
me at all.
brother.
You know, sitting here, been on like a couple of blind dates and this and that. The dating world sucks. Um, I wish I was still married sometimes because being married was like a safety net, but like casually dating and like seeking shit out is like the most exhausting thing. It's more exhausting than training camp because
Wow.
it fucks with your mental more than it does your physical. Like
Yeah.
shit, my stamina is always on point. It always will be. But for some reason, man, the mental battle of trying to find somebody that fits into your world, you know, um, I've actually been going to a lot of therapy for this shit too. You know what I mean? But I actually love my therapist. Like that shit works because
Hmm.
it keeps me calm and I don't know, it makes me look at myself differently. I guess you could say I'm a lot more calmer and chiller. But I get to see things within people. Like I get to really slow down and just see people for what they really are. So
Hmm.
before that, man, it was just all gas, no brake with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially when I was playing, literally, like you guys seen it. I was always fucking 100 miles an hour all the time. But
Yep.
it's like the first time in my life, the last past 2 years, that I've been able to just really just slow down and just see everything for what it really is, the bullshit.
Hmm.
And I'm talking about family members, fucking. I mean, the list goes on, man. But it's kind of cool because I'm like, damn. I feel like a little bit of John Wick, a little bit of Equalizer, and I'm just seeing shit in slow mo. You know what I'm
That's awesome.
saying?
Um, during those years when you were on your run in the UFC, did you feel any extra, I guess, pressure, so to speak, to be exciting, bring the fireworks, that kind of thing, regardless of maybe whether or not it was a good strategy or you might have been injured going in?
um, well, it's an entertainment business. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Dana made it clear. You know what I mean? He want exciting fights. He wants guys that's going to get in there and fucking put it all out there. Well,
Right.
there, there's been 6 fights I can count in the UFC that I've lost that I've actually got bonuses for. And I was wondering why I got the bonus. And Dana straight up told me, he's like, kid, you went out there and you left it all in the ring. One thing about me, I am a fucking showboat. Like I perfected my craft since I was a kid. Like I said, I'm great at this shit. And I can pull off some of the craziest shit in the ring. And it's just gonna wow everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you give people the wow factor, I mean, that's the kind of fighter you want to be. I mean, that's what my legacy is. You know what I mean? I don't have a UFC title, but I do have 9 world titles.
Hmm.
Um, I was hoping to get number 10, but I retired. You know what I mean? And I thought I was gonna be sad and cry and miss it, but I don't, man. Like I'm happy right
You
now.
feel
You know what I'm
complete.
saying? Yeah, I mean, once I find real love, then yeah, everything's complete then. But find somebody I can just run off into the sunset with. I'm on my third passport. I got my retirement funds coming. So shit, somebody gonna let me spoil them. Fuck it. I mean,
There
shit,
you
I
go,
didn't
man.
work my ass off, man. And I have a failed marriage. You know what I'm saying? I failed at the first one, but um it's just, I mean, I was young, you know what I mean? We both was young. A lot of shit was going on. It wasn't a traditional marriage. And I mean, my grandfather said it best. You messed up the moment you invited another woman to your bed. And my grandpa made a lot of sense. At the time it didn't. I was young. I was like, oh, whatever, papa. But
Hmm.
as I got older, I started thinking about that conversation. I'm like, you know what? Maybe he was right. But I also feel like maybe just, that person's they they wasn't supposed to be in my life the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe like everybody's life is kind of pre-written, predestined. But for me, I like to rewrite shit. I like to remix shit. Like I never do shit by the book. You know what I mean? I'm the most unorthodox person, not only in the ring, but definitely in my normal life. Like I am so unorthodox, you don't know what the fuck you're gonna expect out of me next, but it's gonna be something exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like one minute we
Guaranteed.
might be chilling, right here at home, and then next minute tomorrow or this weekend we in fucking Japan. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
never plan trips. I just go. You know what I mean? So
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's That's a blessing. Most people got to plan for a year to go somewhere. Fuck that. And you
Hmm.
know how many places I go in a year? I can go probably 14 places in a year. And I'm saying that because I did it in 2017. I
Hmm.
wrapped around the globe 3 times.
Was that what was the Gomi fight part of that?
Yep, it sure
Okay.
was, man. Japan will be where I retire. When I'm done and my mom is no longer here, I will live in Japan. Um, Japan loves me, and I love it. I mean, like, I
That's
mean,
awesome.
the people, and for some reason, Asian women love black guys. Just saying.
I'm good friends with Big Daddy Gary Goodrich, and as you know, he spent plenty of time over in Japan. He
Yep.
calls me little brother. I call him big brother. When you do decide to retire, let me know. I'm gonna hook you up with Big Daddy, and I bet you he can take care of you out there.
All right, cool. Well, look, I gotta wrap this up, man. I don't mean to cut you off, but maybe we can do this again some other time.
All right.
Um, But it's been great talking to you, man. I appreciate you sticking to the script and asking the tough questions. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
For some reason, people are afraid to ask me like the real hard questions, like I'm such a asshole, but I'm like the nicest guy on the fucking planet.
I
I
haven't even
just
got
can,
to the hard
I,
ones yet.
I can just kick people's asses though. That's all it is. Well, this shit, let's do it. Then look, let's do a part 2 of this shit. You know what I mean? I gotta go to Oklahoma this weekend, but
Hmm.
I'm back next week. Shit, we could do a part 2. We're gonna probably need like a 3-part series of this shit. Cause I got a lot of
Okay.
shit we need to dive into.
Okay,
Hey
I'll write a little bit more. Next Wednesday, I have an interview. Other than that, I don't have anybody on the schedule next week. Let me
man,
know
I'm on I'm
whenever
on
works.
I'm on your time, man. Same time next week. I'm all down for it.
Okay. All right, Melvin. Take care. I'll talk to you soon, buddy. It was good to see you.
All right, my man. Nice talking to you too, bud.
See you, man.
Later. Mm, mm, I was getting this shit up.
I think he's gone. Man, that was awesome. A little impromptu ending. I wasn't expecting that, y'all. Man, Melvin's got some stories. I'm going to write some more. We're going to do a three-parter, he says. Thank you so much for stopping by the other side tonight. I do want to mention, as I did earlier, HKA USA, good friend Nick Sampson over there. If you're a fighter and you need any kind of gear, gloves, mitts, shin guards, headgear, hit up Nick over at HKA. He's an awesome dude. Ask anybody out there who works with him. Great guy. He'll take care of you. We'll see you next time, guys.